I've said it before, I will put my YouTube audience up against any other channel's audience, any of the spiritual channels, any day, and I'll win. We'll win. What does it mean, win? It means in terms of authenticity, in realness, and pure vibration, man, we'll smoke them. Because I don't attract the whole love and light, peace, bliss, blah, blah crowd. That stuff does not work. You can't, look, purification isn't pretty, man. You can't get the love and light until there's a certain degree of purification. How's the love and light gonna, like, you can't see it. It's being obstructed by certain habits and addictions and shortcomings and tendencies and all this crud. This is the nature of the game of life. God gives us all this crud, and then God says, okay, clean it. And then you clean it, and then it shines. It's like if you put that, what's it called? That coating on your car. That coating. I forgot what it's called. It shines. Looks better than a new car. Your car can be 10 years old, but if you put that coating on it, it'll shine. Okay. Because they sand it and they make it, they take the impurities off. The same thing with this human bot self. We have certain impurities that need to be cleaned, but you can't clean them if you're not aware of them. Don't you see how it's so appealing for the ego when certain teachers and books and videos just tell you how great you already are? Wow, you're the light already. You're already, you don't have to do anything. Like, you're already God. And the ego's like, oh yeah, it's true, I am, because like I have to be, because everything's God, and so I'm God too. And there, yeah, thanks, I'm God. But it goes back to what I said at the beginning, why I like my audience, because you can smell that vibration. It's so empty and hollow. It's just an act, it's some theatrical act. Oh, you're so great, and just, oh my God, like you're already an angel. You don't have to do anything. It just, can you feel it? It has this, it's like not true. Maybe on paper it's true, okay? Maybe, yeah, in 10,000 lifetimes, maybe it'll be true. And so then you say, well, okay, well then it must be true now, because really there's no time. See, that justification. I used to project. I remember I wrote a book when I was 21. Man, what I was writing, I wasn't embodying at that time. But you know how I justified it? I said, well, I will someday. So like, what's the difference? That's my real nature, what I'm writing about, even though I'm not embodying it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and write it. It's true. This is how I justify it. This is how I can see how others do the same thing. It's a very subtle manipulative tactic the mind does, though. Yeah, who can catch it out? So the topic's about grit and grace. Okay. I've discovered that I, as a human individual, not even human, as an individual expression of consciousness, whether I'm human or whether I'm astral body, it doesn't matter which body I'm carrying, I do not have the power to do this inner transformation. I can't reach somehow into my causal being and just dismantle all those ill tendencies and destructive lower dark nature. Like I can't, like how am I gonna do, I can't do that. I could act, I can hold the spring down. I'm not gonna act out on that defect. Yeah. Or I can pretend and be theatrical. I'm already the pure self. I don't have to do anything. I can act, but I won't carry the vibration of organicness by doing those things. This is what I discovered. Only grace can go in and give a complete overhauling to my being. Only grace can do it. And then I learned, this is the grit part, I need to like show up and like do something to extract grace's help. It's like grace can't, it wants to help me. It's not like it's like, grace isn't an entity. It's intelligence. It's, universal love. But it can't help me if I'm like not open. And if I'm, what does it mean not open? Not being aware of the things that I'm doing that keep me in a low vibration. Because then I'm asleep. And that means I'm asleep to grace. Grace isn't gonna like we're not robots. There's some free will seemingly playing here. So grace isn't gonna override all that and say, I'm gonna make you peaceful. No, this being has to work for it a little bit. It has to what does it mean to work for it? Become aware of your shadow side self and start working with it. Start trying to do better. And then in the process, you realize you can't. And then ask grace for help. Then there's a surrender. There's an openness to transform. It's like, okay, I know here what seems to be blocking me and holding me down, but I want to overcome that because I want peace. God, grace, divine, can you help me somehow? And then you just be open to how that help's going to take place. And if it takes years to gradually unfold, so be it. I like this motto. It says, try as though everything depends on you, but pray as though everything depends on God. If you can work that paradoxical slogan, this is good, because then there's balance. This is the most efficient way, I feel, to transform. I've seen over and over and over again, left to my power, man, my willpower, my good intentions, my beliefs, my positive affirmations, it just doesn't do anything. It gives me a short, burst of like euphoria back then. Now I can't, because once you see through something, it doesn't work anymore. But I used to get a little hit from that. It's like wishful thinking or something, wishful believing. So I saw through that. I'm like, that doesn't work. It doesn't work being a spiritual foo-foo, nor does it work. It doesn't work trying to like overcome all my addictions and habits and ill tendencies and shortcomings all myself with my own power. That also doesn't work. So there had to be some blend with our own efforts and being open to spiritual help and transformation. There had to be a blend. You can't figure out exactly like what that blend is. You can't say, well, okay, how much effort do I need to put, and then how much do I need to pray to get no, man, you just if you synergize with that slogan, which is try as though everything depends on you and pray as though everything depends on God, that's enough. The balance is going to take care of itself. How many private sessions I do when somebody says, yeah, but they want to know the balance with anything, actually. With anything, like, what's the balance of like how much I should work, and then how much should I just, chill and meditate, or how much, time I should spend with my girlfriend versus alone time. Man, nobody can answer that. You are open to experiencing balance in some kind of semblance of a homeostasis inside this human ship. You're open to that and willing to experience that. That's it. Okay, that's all you need to do. The balance is gonna come from that. It looks different. Like, it looks different. Today that balance might look different than tomorrow. We don't know. We have to give up our life and say, like, we don't know. There's no standard. There's no absolute standard that you can depend on all the time that's going to give you direction. Because there's always exceptions. Life is constantly flowing and spontaneous, and there can be all kinds of weird things that can happen, and So you take a look at your life. Do you feel good that, in the sense that you're looking at yourself, you're discovering Your self-honesty is allowing you to admit, because you can feel, your conscious feels it. You can feel you're doing things that kind of keep you a little bit low vibrational, okay? You give yourself space, though, to let that get undone in its natural time. This is important. Everybody forgets that part. All right, so you're doing that. At the same time, you're making some effort in whatever form that takes. If you have an addiction, maybe you're going to 12-step programs, or maybe you're going to therapy, or maybe you're doing this or that to try to help on practical level to overcome this obstruction. At the same time, you're totally, as best as you can, there's no like, oh, you get an A, oh, you get an F. No, you're just, whatever your karmic situation is, you're open to grace or the divine helping you in this situation too. You see, both, it's combined. God, do for me what I can't do for myself. I don't have the power to do this. But at the same time, I'm going to use what little power I have to try to do what needs to be done so that I don't indulge in these things that are keeping me small, keeping me in like the lower level of my being. I want to be in the height of my being, but I need your help to do that. I know that's my destiny. I'm like, I know that intuitively. I know my destiny is to shine in the way that you would have me shine. I'm a part and parcel of you. I know that. At the same time, I'm not going to be a spiritual foo-foo and just say that over and over again and think that's it. So can you help me with this balance? Like, just help me. Sometimes that's the most authentic, best, most powerful prayer. God, just help me. Just help me. I'm going to go sit somewhere quiet. I don't want to be disturbed. I'm sick of stimulating my senses all the time, going on the internet and scrolling and doing this. Like, I'm so tired of that. I just want to just sit and like, God, just help me. Whatever that looks like, whatever that means, doesn't matter. What matters is your ego's in check now. You have some humility. You don't think you're like the one. You know how you can know? Man, there's so few. Look, there's all levels of teachers, and they all serve somehow some good. You know, we all have our purpose. But when we're talking about like the real deal, authentic spiritual teachers, there's so few. There's so few. But you know one way that you know? I was talking to my friend about this. You know one way you know? They're almost constantly, and it's not a technique or a practice they're doing. They can't help it. They're compelled. They're constantly giving it up to grace or God, doing for them what they can't do for themselves. They cannot not talk about that, because it would be a lie. Now those other teachers, and this is where it can be misleading, because if you have a developed intellect, you did a lot of study, you learn the scriptures, you can quote this and that, and then you can appear as like, whoa, I'm like some messiah, like this person must be, look how high level they talk. Yeah, but do you sense the humility in them? Is there any humility? Are they giving it up to the divine? Is the divine the one that's like working through them? Do they acknowledge that? You see, the whole vibration's different. It's subtle, but not subtle for those who can see. It's just different. It's when you're not, when that humility is not present, yeah, man, then you're nowhere near the level of, let's say, like Yogananda or Anandamayama. There's others, but or Ram Krishna, or, you know, Lahiri Mahasaya. Like, you're nowhere near that level, man. Can you sense? He has recordings, Yogananda. Actually, Anandamayama too. Can you sense when they speak, or when they're, or even in their writings, or even when you see them in the video? Can you tell they're on a different level? It's like their ego, human side self has just been dismantled, man. I remember Yogananda said something once, and one of his lectures. He said, Yogananda died a long time ago. He says, only God and the masters dwell here now. And when he would talk, yeah, it's vibration, man. It's just vibration. There would never be this sense of like a person who got it. Like, you know, you can feel like, I got this. I got it. They never claimed that power as their own. They knew that it was the divine giving them that power. They were borrowing that power from the divine. That's what makes all the difference in the world between an authentic spiritual teacher and not. But it can get confusing because, like I said, if the intellect's super developed, then you can, I know from personal experience, I used to and could play the role so good, man, with those who were more naive. You could dazzle them with the talk, and then if you make a little mistake, you know how to fix that though, because you know how they might interpret that. I mean, oh, okay, here, let me rationalize and justify that a little bit. There, I made it spiritual again. Well, I made it even more spiritual. Oh, that worked out. All these little things. But at the end of the day, one has to sleep with themselves at night. The thing is, if you're so busy running around the world and speaking and always engaging with a bunch of people telling you how great you are, you probably won't come to these realizations. It's those times where you sit alone with yourself. Don't be around anybody, especially those telling you how great you are. You be alone with yourself and you sit with yourself, and then this deeper, if you allow it, grace will show you how to do this deeper introspection. And you might catch yourself out. I have respect for Andrew Cohen. He did that. He was like a self-proclaimed enlightened person, had a lot of attention, had ashram in Rishikesh, wrote a bunch of books. And then he went on the record some years later. I think, as usual, he got into some scandal with a girl or something. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. But anyway, he had a downfall, fallen angel. But the humility, at least it seemed after that, it was like worth it, man. It was like worth it. A lot of these masters, so-called masters, you see, they're gonna get crushed at some point. And then they're gonna transform into like a real deal master, you can say. This life is so vast. It's so vast, you can't figure it out. It just makes it easy to just, God, I don't know. Am I being egotistical? Help me if I am, because I don't have the power to see it or change it. So it's all your grace. You stay with that attitude and that mode of consciousness, you're good. Then you're good. Yeah, be good. I'll see you.